Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about substance abuse, the different forms, its effects, as well as symptoms. So, before we dive into today's lesson, can anybody give me an example or an explanation or your understanding of substance abuse? Thank you for your feedback. Okay, so if you focus your attention to the slides that I have provided, you will see that in the next slide, substance abuse is explained as drug abuse. It is described as a pattern of harmful use of any substance. It is uncontrolled and it affects an individual's mental health and physical health. Right, so next slide, I have the different forms of substance abuse. Our first form of substance abuse that we will be looking at today is one of the most common forms of substance abuse, and this is alcohol. Some of the facts of alcohol and the effects is that it is the oldest and widely used drug in the world. It affects nerve cells and it damages the brain and liver over time. You may, for your own well-being, take this down in a form of a table. You can have your forms of substance abuse on the left-hand side, and on the right, you may have your description. So, the next drug form that we are looking at is inhalants. So these are fumes or gases that are often inhaled, and they produce a temporary high. One of the most common ones would be the inhalant of glue. It has long-term use and can lead to permanent brain damage. So it affects your memory, your mood swings, and it could lead to blindness. Marijuana. Okay, so this is also known as daca or weed, as you may have heard. Its effects is that it makes you feel relaxed and dreamy, but it often causes hallucinations and it could lead to cancer. Methamphetamine is a type of drug that goes by the names of speed, crystal, meth, and tic. It is addicted from the very first time that you use it. It gives you an extreme high, and it often makes the user violent. Mandrax comes in a form of a tablet, which is also known as buttons. It is crushed and then smoked. It leads to overdose. Users have blurred visions, third speech, and slower thinking reflexes. Okay, prescription drugs. You may be very familiar with this. These are the drugs that are prescribed to us by our doctors. And some of the drugs that people use that are prescribed is often cough syrup and painkillers. Okay, so these can be very addictive. It may not be as addictive as a street drug, but many people feel that it is safer. However, this causes serious health risk. Okay, cigarettes. This is one of the most common types of substance abuse. Your parents maybe people that smoke. Okay, so cigarettes contain nicotine. It is the most addictive substance. It can cause cancer and other deadly diseases. Smoking causes more stress. Most people believe that it actually decreases your stress levels, but that is not the case. It contains 4,000 chemicals, which affects the body negatively. Okay, so we are going to pause there for a second, and you guys are going to be given a class activity. Let me go to, okay, so our first activity will be on identifying the facts and myths about substance abuse. Okay, so I will give you guys 5 minutes to identify these facts, and then we will go through the answers. Okay. So once students have handed their answers back to me, I will go through the answers. Our first answer to activity 1. Okay, our statement is alcohol is not a drug because it is legal. That is untrue and is a myth. Sniffing glue gives you an instant high. There isn't time for it to hurt you. That is untrue and a myth. 3, marijuana is a plant that grows in nature, so it can't hurt you. That is untrue and a myth. If you smoke, number 4, if you smoke marijuana, it'll be in your blood for 4 weeks afterwards. That is a fact. And number 5, if you try tick once, you'll be addicted. That is also a fact. Smoking is good for stress. Number 6, that is untrue and is a myth. Okay, let's go back to our slide. So, what are the symptoms of substance abuse? There are many signs that a person is abusing a substance. There may be other reasons for these symptoms, so we will not just accuse anyone of being a person that is abusing a substance. There are specific changes in appearance, attitude, and behavior that you will look out for. What are the symptoms of substance abuse? So, changes in behavior. We have changes in attitude or personality. They tend to avoid family and friends. They have less interest in school and other activities. There is mostly a lack of motivation, a lot of moodiness, unexplained need for money, stealing money or items, and they disappear for long periods of times and have secretive behaviors. The symptoms of changes in appearance that we will look for is that they will not be dressed up as neatly as they were before. There's a significant decrease in their weight. They have a hard time focusing and difficulty sleeping. They are rather active, meaning that they cannot sit still. They are constantly fidgety. Okay, the other symptoms that we will look out for is red and watery eyes and tremors. So that is the constant shaking of the hand and the feet. Okay, you guys will now be given a group activity. So you will get into groups of 5s. I will hand out worksheets to you and I will give you 10 minutes to work on, 5 to 10 minutes to work on this activity in groups. Once learners have handed their group work back to me, after swapping with groups, they will check each other's answers and then we will go through the answers together. So if we look at the answers to the group activity worksheet, our first question is list 4 forms of substance abuse. Okay, this can be any 4 forms. So alcohol, inhalants, marijuana, methamphetamine, mandrax, prescription drugs, and cigarettes. The next question is list 2 factors of cigarettes. So these contains nicotine. It's the most addictive substance. It can cause cancer and other deadly diseases. Smoking causes more stress, and it contains 4,000 chemicals which affects the body negatively. C, what are some of the symptoms of substance abuse? We have changes in appearance, attitude, and behavior. Okay, what is another word for methamphetamine? Okay, they go by the names of speed, crystal, meth, and tick. Okay. E. So, what are the changes in behavior? We are going to list 4 changes. So, our options are there are changes in attitude, personality, avoiding family and friends, loss of interest in school and other activities. There's a lack of motivation, there's moodiness, unexplained need for money, stealing money or items, disappear for long periods, and secretive behaviors. F, list 4 changes in appearance. We could have any of the 4 possible answers. They are not neat or clean as before. There's significant weight loss, trouble with coordination, difficulty sleeping. They're very active. They cannot sit still. They have red or watery eyes and tremors shaking of the hands or feet. Okay, so once learners have done the group activity in the development phase, I will then ask them by a show of hands to show me how many of them have understood the activity and how many of them have gotten correct answers. Once the activity in the development phase is done, I will then move on to the consolidation phase, where I will explain the homework to the learners. It is an individual assessment where they are required to create a poster on the different types of substance abuse, and they will have a week to complete this task. I will offer assistance regarding this task as learners in my class do have a learning disability, and I will offer them assistance wherever it is needed. Thank you.